Hi everyone, good morning. It's Kathleen with Kathleen's Trodden Trail, coming to you on Tuesday, August the 7th, after a European vacation and a long time away from Floss too. So I have filmed this once and realized that I was almost at 15 minutes and all I had talked about was our trip, and I didn't want to spend 15 minutes talking about the trip. As I said at the beginning of my last video, which I'm going to delete, I just want to give it to you in a nutshell. So we decided to take our two youngest. They're both, Ryan will be a sophomore in college and Maddie will be a freshman. We decided this was probably the last time that we would have this opportunity to take both of them on a family vacation, someplace kind of fun and exciting and kind of one last hurrah. And we all, had several family meetings and decided on Europe, specifically England and Ireland. So we, in a nutshell, we left on July 26th. We were back here on Sunday, which was August the 5th. We were gone for about 10 days. It was a wonderful vacation. We had a great time. I had never been to Europe before, nor had my husband. The kids had both been on band tour. I'd gone to Germany last year, so they were they're a little more well-traveled than their parents, but it was wonderful. We loved it. Excited to go back someday. I would like to do it a little differently next time around. And we knew this was sort of our city trip, and we spent the majority, all except for about 2 days, in the cities. So we were in London, Brighton, which is a coastal, I wouldn't say a city, but a coastal town, fairly touristy and crowded, and then Dublin, Ireland, and saw lots of things. Despite having 10 days, didn't get to see everything we wanted to see, but saw a lot, and I'm excited to go back someday and spend a little more time in the country, actually a lot more time in the country. We did, my favorite day was the day that we took a 3-hour drive to the western coast of Ireland, to the cliffs of Moher and a little town called Doolin in County Clare, and I want to live there. I really do. I was absolutely, I felt at home there. It's right on the sea. It's not what they call the Great Atlantic Way, and it is just, I can't even put into words how amazing of a place it was. And I've always been fascinated with Ireland. I really thought, I'm adopted, I think I've mentioned that before, and I recently did a DNA test to find out, kind of what I am and what my heritage is. And I've always believed myself to be pretty Irish, and I have very little Irish in me. But I've always been fascinated with Ireland for whatever reason, and it was everything I anticipated and more. So someday I would like to go back and spend a lot more time in the country. The kids loved the cities. They loved London especially, and they really enjoyed Dublin. We all did. It was fun, and we had too much to talk about in a video. But what I'm going to do is I'll probably end up doing at least 2 videos today, and so at the end of both videos I'll try to post some pictures. These are not the great pictures that I took with my good camera, just the quick pictures I took on my phone, but it'll, and they really don't do the place justice at all. If we're friends on Facebook, you've seen the pictures on Facebook. Again, those are just pictures from my phone, but I'll try to post some pictures. Anyway, I'm glad to be home. I'm one of those people that I love to travel, but I'm always maybe even a little more excited to come home than I was to leave. And I'm definitely a routine kind of person, and I enjoy a nice routine. And despite all its problems recently, I love my house, and I'm always ready to be home, and I'm always ready to get back into the routine and do some things. I did do a little bit of stitching while we were there. I worked a little bit on my Aging Gracefully Lizzie Kate piece. I mostly worked on that on the airplane and in the hotels, and then I did a little bit of needlepoint stitching on my Small Birds of a Feather floral on the train to Brighton from Dublin to Brighton, which was about an hour and a half, maybe not quite 2-hour train ride. But there really wasn't a whole lot of time, and when I did have time, what little time I did have was spent resting, because we went pretty hard and tried to pack as much as possible into the 10 days. I will say, if anyone is considering a trip to the UK or Ireland, I can't recommend it more. I think it is eye-opening. It's eye-opening to see, that's considered the Western world, right? Just like we are. And it is amazing to me how many cultural differences there are, and then at the same time how many things are similar. And I was shocked by the fact that, and I don't know why, this is like kind of an ignorant thing on my part, but people would ask us where we were from. They could tell. People would say, "Oh, you're from the States. Are you from New York?" Everybody said that. Are you from New York? I've never even been to New York. I hope to go someday, but I have never been. And we would say, "No, we're from Nebraska," and they would immediately get this look on their faces, and you could tell they didn't want to say, "Where's Nebraska?" But you could also tell that they had no idea where Nebraska was. And so I started saying, "We're from Nebraska. Do you know where that is?" And they would say, "Oh, is that north? That's very north, right? That's far north." And we would say, "No, it's kind of right smack in the middle." "Oh, okay. It must be very cold there." And we'd say, "No, it's actually this time of year, it's actually hotter than it is here." "Oh," So it's just interesting. And then as I started to think about it, I don't know where places are in the UK or in Ireland. Like, I didn't realize Dublin was kind of right on the coast. So, that was kind of ignorance on my part, but it was just a wonderful experience. I would recommend that. I think that it is, mind broadening to travel, especially outside of the United States, and just so fascinating and interesting to learn about culture and history in a way that's very different from learning about it in school and in textbooks and that sort of thing. One of the most interesting things that we did was a musical pub crawl in Ireland, in Dublin. We did that the first night that we were there, and it had been recommended to us actually by Maddie's advisor at Augustana University. Her admittance advisor heard that we were going, and she said, "If you get a chance, do the musical pub crawl. It's very great." And we were thinking of it like, this is just going to be fun, right? It's a musical pub crawl. So Irish music and beer is kind of what we were thinking. It was the biggest history lesson ever, and we walked all over Dublin, visited 3 pubs, which each had their own history, heard all the history, or not all, but some of the history behind Irish music, and then a lot of, sort of political and theological history. It was, I ended up buying three books on Irish history at the bookstore before we left, because I want more information. So anyway, okay, I'm at 8 minutes and here I go again. So I'm going to just get into things, and then we'll just do a few videos and see how it goes. The first thing I want to talk about just really quickly is I have some wonderful little gifts here. And we came back and there were several packages lined up with the mail, and one of them was this sweet little package from my sweet friend Nicole Buckeye Stitcher. She had introduced me 6 or 8 months ago. She had talked about this, I don't know, maybe not that long ago, but some time back. She had talked about the Frostbeard Studio soy candles and their book lover candles, and they're so cool, and every month they come out with a different type of candle or scent. I want to say flavor, but and I had seen this on there because now I ordered some, and then I've subscribed to their newsletter, and I get their little advertisements and all of that. And I had seen this one called Bosom Friends, and it's called Raspberry Cordial and Blossom, or Raspberry Cordial and Blossom are the 2 scents. And I thought about ordering it, and I thought, oh, that might be too sweet. I don't like a super sweet candle. And Nicole happened to send it to me, and oh, it's heaven. It is heaven. It is so good. Just a mild, just a little bit of sweet. It looks like this. And then she sent me Loyal Wizards. A lot of them have Harry Potter kind of themes to them, or Great Gatsby themes, or, just all sorts of fun booky kind of themes to them. So this one is called Loyal Wizards, and it's Wild Mountain Honey. And it is, I have this in my kitchen. Oh, I wish I could push the scent through. So that was just a little sweet thing from Miss Nicole, and I love it so much. Then I received from Marlene, Stitching by the Lake. She said she happened to have 2 of these and wanted to know if I wanted it. It's a punch needle. It's a Threads That Bind. It's called Bless This House. And I do not have it. I thought I owned most of the Threads That Bind, and I know a couple of these I have double as well. And so it's Bless This House. Isn't that sweet? I need to do that this month because I'm working on sunflower stitcheries this month. So I love that. That's so sweet. Okay, I have an FFO, a fully finished project that I did in a week's time that I gave to a friend for her birthday, and we already celebrated her birthday. So I took a picture of it before I gave it to her, and hopefully I'll be able to find that picture, and I will insert it here. And so that was for a friend who doesn't do any really does some crafty stuff with her girls, but doesn't do a whole lot of crafting things. And she liked it, and I was really pleased with the way it came out. That design, I didn't bring it with me here. I didn't bring the chart. But that design came with, I believe that's a Sub Rosa design, and that came with another little design that I'm also going to try to start today, actually. So that was my FFO. And then okay, so here's the story. I was watching, as I always seem to be doing, I was watching Jen's Stitching Niche. If you haven't tuned into Jen, you need to do so. She also has an Etsy shop called Jen's Stitching Niche. She is a very prolific stitcher, and she does all sorts of things. I mean, all sorts of things. She quilts, and she does applique, and she does these awesome little ornaments, and just all sorts of things. But anyway, so I was watching, I think, her video 3 videos ago now. I think she has 2 more since this one was posted. And she started talking about plans for August. And in that video, she had said that for August, she had decided that she was going to do sunflower stitching. And I thought, that is a great idea. So I do very much seasonal decorating around here. And I decorate my house in June and July. I do sort of beach/patriotic decorations, and so 1 or 2 rooms are kind of done in beach, and 1 or 2 rooms are kind of done in patriotic. And then now that my kids are older, I used to kind of leave up the patriotic through August, and in September I would kind of do a school theme, kind of a back to school thing with like apples and chalkboards and that sort of thing. And as the kids got older, that just didn't appeal to me as much. So I sort of switched it to sunflowers. I've always loved sunflowers. I've always had quite a few sunflower decorations. And so I started doing August and September doing sunflowers. Well, I don't have, although I have a lot of sunflower decorations, I have very few sunflower cross stitch finishes. So I thought, well, that's just a great idea. I think I'm going to do that, because I'm always jumping on Jen's bandwagon, whatever it is. I don't know. I think we're sisters from another mother or something. So I went to her Etsy site, and I was watching her video late one night lying in bed, and I went to her Etsy site, and I purchased like every single sunflower chart that she had, and a few more things. So I'm already at 14 minutes, so I'm going to pause here, and I'm going to do another video, and we'll talk about what I purchased.